name's David Chapman. I'm Senior Project Executive for an organisation called Interface, and we match businesses with universities and research institutes in Scotland. Well, there's a huge amount of talk and there's a huge amount of hype around apps development, and together ourselves and Highlands and Islands Enterprise thought, what are the benefits there for business, and is there opportunities for the business community in the Highlands and Islands to venture down the road of apps development in conjunction with a university. So by putting this event on today, we hope that we would get a broad spectrum of companies across the Highlands and Islands that would look to universities as a resource to enable them to develop an app. I think they'll have taken away primarily that it's not to be embarked on lightly. There's a huge range of decisions that a company has to make before even they get to the point of deciding whether they need an app. Then from there, if they've decided that an app is something that they want to develop and launch, there was a number of different speakers giving hints and tips on how they go about the different business models for developing an app, whether they make it free, whether they charge for it, and also some really good advice on how you go about developing the app, some of the practical tips that you should be thinking about in terms of how you structure the app, how the consumers are going to use the app, and then right through to launching the app in the marketplace, deciding what platform you launch it on, and also some of the legal implications of launching an app that a business would have to think about. I think and I would say this is the contrast between the kind of academic speakers who can provide some of the expertise and the help around the app's development and some real kind of practical hints and tips for the businesses that they can take away and actually think about and maybe implement into their organisation straight away, right through to the two business speakers that we had presenting the case studies and actually real life examples of companies that have been through the pain of developing the app, but also how they've made a success of them and how they're ultimately making money out of them.
Right, I'm Ian Hamilton. I'm Head of Creative Industries with Highlands and Islands Enterprise. So I have a remit for sectoral growth as well as trying to help individual businesses and really to encourage as much creative activity as we can in the region. Well, this is one that we had been looking at for a while in terms of the digital technology is obviously really important about getting to market, but there is also questions that come up regularly about whether the technology leads the way or whether it's about good content ideas. So what we really wanted to do was to get folk thinking about if they want to have an app, why would they want to have it? Secondly, there are other alternatives. So is your idea good? Now there are other ways of doing it. And the third one is we have lots of folk coming up with great ideas. There's lots of people you could work with, and creative folk offer skills and talents that are valuable to a wide range of businesses. So there's quite a number of reasons that have made this useful for me today. Certainly everybody I've spoken to come out, the main thing they've gone away with is much more thought about why they would be doing an app and what it was that they were trying to get out. And for a lot of folk, it's been this kind of assumption that apps are the way to go and we should be doing that. And I think for a lot of folk, it was just a bit of a reminder of here's some of the thoughts you should be putting in. What is it I'm trying to achieve with it? And actually, is the app the best way of doing this? And I think also just the fact that they all got together in one room to talk about subjects meant that there's folk who will continue to talk afterwards. You never know what will come out of an event like this, and sometimes the most unexpected ones are the most exciting results. To be honest, I thought all of them had something useful and valuable to put in, and rather than seeing there was individual ones, I thought what was great was that each one of them highlighted similar issues around the quality of the idea, around what it is you're actually trying to do with it. So something like Sean talking about having a channel into people's offices to pick up messages. And the other part in that was about how do you actually make it interesting for your customer, whatever that is you're doing, and about how do you involve them in the process, make them feel an ownership of what's going on. It's that opportunity to involve much more closely your audience or your purchaser of your product, whatever.